after I've done a lot of movies and, I can't even walk around everywhere I go, it's like, I'm about to film everyone, you have to give us money. And, this part of all these our lovers out there, the film lovers out there, the way they appreciate us out there, it's not really easy like that, especially when you don't have this money to give them. Some of them get offended because they don't even know what you're going through. To some point, they will think, you have the money, you don't want to give us, we'll stop buying your CDs, we don't go watch your movie again. And I said to myself, I keep giving money, and yet money is not coming back. This Nollywood movie industry thing, we do something they call scratch my back and scratch yours. It's like we do this scratch my back and scratch yours every time, and I've got my family to take care of, and I said to myself, Abbey, you need to leave the country. But when I was leaving the country then, in my head I was like, I am not just going out of the country for greener pasture. In my head I knew I want to go and see beyond Nollywood, because I knew I am still going to do something bigger than this Nollywood movie industry. So I wanted to travel to India, but my agent that did my visa for me then was like, Abbey, it's very easy for you. Once you get to Malaysia, my India is just like the next state. And I'm like, okay. When I got to Malaysia, it was another ball game on its own. So I had to face the reality.
Thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to have this conversation with us. You're welcome. Now, let's do a rewind, a retake, and say, how did you get into this business?
Well, it's been a long journey, and I thank God for where I started from and where I am right now. To be a professional actor from Nollywood to outside the country, it's not been easy, because of the consistency, perseverance. I am where I am today, and I thank God for that.
Now, the first thing that comes to anybody's mind, what you just said, is what is it like acting outside Nigeria and then coming back into Nollywood and coming into this, what some people would describe as madhouse?
Okay, this is I'm just going to break it down for everybody to understand now. First of all, my name is Abimbola, famously known as okay. So first of all, I've been in Nollywood movie industry for 18 years now. I started under this F.W. Michaels. My first Nollywood movie is Heart Mending, directed by F.W. Michaels himself. And after I've done a couple of movies in Nollywood, I'm like, I keep on counting how many movies I have done, 1, 2, 3, till 100, I'm still counting. And I said to myself, does it worth it? This is what I'm going to be doing to the rest of my life. I've done a lot of movies with my account still the same. Then I thought to myself, I called myself, I said, Abbey, you need to do something else. Then in 2013, I decided, I said, I am definitely going to leave this country and see beyond Nollywood. So I found my way to Malaysia. I was supposed to travel to India because of my interest in Bollywood movies, Tamil movie. So I traveled to Malaysia, but getting to Malaysia, it wasn't that easy. Sorry, the noise and everything. So I met a friend of mine, Miss soul rest in peace. His name is Keisha. He said to me, he said, Abbey, I've seen some of your Nollywood movies. I know you're such a very good actor. The only thing you can do is you are never too old to go for mixed martial arts. Go for the class. Max of it is going to take you 6 months to 1 year. Just learn it and advance back into this industry, because you have all it takes. You have a very good physique. People will definitely accept you here. So I said to myself, okay, mixed martial arts. And I was almost 40 then. I said, okay, Abbey, you're going to do it. But in my head, I was like, mixed martial arts. It's just like every other one doing mixed martial arts. So let me do something different. Then I went for Silat. Silat over there is like this kind of slow fight that we do a lot of odd mats before we fight. We just don't fight. We only fight to defend ourselves. So I went for the Silat. My Silat course was supposed to take me like 6 months. But then my sifu like, Abbey, I love your character, man. Everybody loves you. Wherever you go, you're always a champion. People want to work with you. People want to train with you. So you can't go down. So for that fact alone, I spent almost a year, not almost a year plus, because of the love between me and my Sifu. And while I was learning all this Silat and Co, I started posting a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, me and my colleagues, doing the rehearsal. Sometimes I do a lot of choreographs and I posted it. So from there, I've been getting this attention from people like, who is this Nigerian guy doing Silat in Malaysia? Because I happen to be the first African filmmaker to do Silat in Malaysia. So that has been a milestone for me, like, okay, I think this guy is getting it already. So after when I get done with my Sifu, and I said, okay, I think it's time for me to do my own movie. So I shot one movie back then. The title of the movie is different filmmakers over there. And with my record, it's almost 50 movies that I have done in Malaysia.
Okay, so you've done quite a number of movies in Malaysia. You've done well over more movies here in Nigeria before you left and you're back home. How do you think our industry can grow?
Firstly, I will start from BlackOut the movie, which is my current project that I'm promoting right now. What actually inspired this movie is because of the way forward for our country and for the industry to grow. First of all, you can't imagine an industry with an inadequate of power supply. First of all, we need to get that at the back of our mind. Such industry will never grow because of the lack of electricity. You know why? A good example is filmmaking industry. Take it or leave it. If you want to shoot a movie right now in Nigeria, if you do not put generator first in your calculation while you're doing your processing, you're not going anywhere. One ball game is you have the generator standby. Another thing is when you have a generator on your set, it's a big distraction for your production. You know why? The ambience is not good for our perfect audio. And consider the movies we shoot in Nigeria, I mean Nollywood. In Nollywood now, 80 to 90% of our movies, we don't go for ADR. We don't go for Foley. We don't go for all these things. Only the movies that are making it to the cinemas and some movies on other platforms like that. So for this fact alone, you need to place your generator miles away from wherever you're shooting. Considering the stress for the lightman, considering the stress for the generator operator, this alone is not helping our situation. It won't make the industry grow faster. So that's why I will still put it back to our government that please, if they can just adjust this electricity of a thing for us, I mean the industry will grow bigger than we expect. And if you check it out right now, one of the major sources of people entertaining themselves is through our movies. You see everybody on their phones. What are they watching? Either a content creator, either you're a skit maker or whatever it is. It's more or less like filmmaking. So this is the only medium that we communicate with our people. And I think our government should be proud of that. They should invest more of their time in this electricity of a thing. That is first. And secondly, the way forward in this industry to grow, I think I'll still go back to our government again, in the sense that check the other countries. Fine, they use generator over there. But let me tell you, where we use generator when we're shooting outside Nigeria is where? If we're shooting in the desert, yes, we will need generator, of course, because the electricity is kind of far away from us. If you're shooting in the jungle, forest, maybe we have a kind of fighting scenes, it's not possible for us to come along with the light, but we go around with the generator. That is only when we need it, or we shoot on the highway. That is when we need generator. Over there, there's nothing like we need generator, or generator is the major factor for us to shoot a movie. It's never like that. And another thing is, over there, their government supports them in the sense that they have this thing they call finance. Finance is finance is known as the central government agency for the film industry over there. You know what they do? This finance, they serve as a body between you as the producer and the government. Their purpose is to get you fund. Let's assume you want to shoot a movie of 50 million naira. This finance will get you 30% of your budget to support your project, provided the government accepts your project. They accept your content, your storyline is okay. And not only that, from your pre-production they will support you, from your production they will support you, from post-production they will support you, till your A&P. And when you're doing your A&P, we have something they call wajib tayang. Wajib is like compulsory. Tayang is support. So that is tell you when you're doing your publicity, when you're doing your promotion, like I'm doing the promotion of BlackOut now, they will still support you. They have a special budget for that, provided your content is supported by the government. You know why? Because over there, the filmmaking business over there, they see it like this is what represents our country. So that is why if you see any filmmaker out there in Malaysia to say, like they produce any movie that the citizen doesn't like the movie, they'll be like, this movie is a big slap on our face. So that is to tell you, they love their movie industry. The government appreciates them. The government supports them. You can imagine everything I've mentioned now. Let's assume if our government is supporting us like this, okay, it's 30% of the budget over there. Give us 10%. We all know if you want to produce a movie, if you want to produce a movie, you must have had your budget. Like, okay, this is what I want to do. But at least, government support us on this so that we know, okay, we are not just doing this. Our government, I'm not saying they are not supporting us. They are supporting us. But then, I feel it is not enough. They can do better for us and go back to the light again, provide adequate power supply for us in this country. And finally, last but not the least, I'll put it back to me and my colleagues out there, the filmmakers. I understand we all want to grow. I understand we all want to become this megastar. We all want to become these fantastic actors over there, and we want people to celebrate us. There are some questions that we need to ask ourselves. What am I doing? What am I going to leave behind me? What are my intentions after I get to the top? After I become this megastars that I want to be? What are my intentions? What is my legacy? I know a lot of actors over there, superstars over there, that they forgot where they are coming from. I mean, the crew that stood by you, the PAs that were there with you. This is what I see as legacy. And a lot of our megastars, to say that I can't start mentioning names now. So a lot of them, they are not following this. So, and I feel that is coming back to me and my colleagues out there, that we should consider this as first priority, that when we get to where we're going, don't forget those people that stood by you. Some of them might be your legacy, because your legacy is very, very important. So I think this is just a little thing that I see. It's my help in growing the industry.
Now, finally, for most people now, talk about your craft. Let's talk about pre-production, production, and finally now you're looking at release. Tell us about your project.
Actually, I think I mentioned a little bit of the thing that inspired this story. When I left the country in 2013, and I came back after 7 years. And trust me, when I got back to my country, the roads are still the same. Same, no light everywhere. And the most annoying part, in my hotel where I lodged, I came to Nigeria with mindset of shooting something different. My intention wasn't working on this BlackOut of a movie. But in my hotel, just behind my room, the noise was disturbing from generator. So I said to myself, Abbey, if nobody's talking about this, this is the right topic for you to talk about. Why is that we have a lot of filmmakers in Nigeria? I mean, great filmmakers that can talk about something like this, and people will accept it immediately. I mean, it's not to disrespect our government. It's just like a gentle reminder that we are not happy with what is going on. So what actually inspired this is because of the lack of electricity in Nigeria. Because in my head I was like, how can we have a country of 200 million people depending on 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts of electricity when we have the potential to generate over 12,000 megawatts of electricity in the same country? You and I, we both know a country with an inadequate of power supply. We are still living far, far behind the rest of the world, undisputed. Why is it that Nigerians, we have to depend on generator? Why is it that generator has been the only source of our power supply in this country? I don't mean to disrespect our government, but all these things, they need to put it in check for us. Just 2 years ago, Rwanda is part of Africa. You see, it's part of Africa. They become the first country in the world to use drone technology to advance the healthcare of its people. BlackOut, still BlackOut in Nigeria. And we are still the giants of Africa. I'm proud to be a Nigerian and I love my country and I want to say a great Nigeria tomorrow. And I feel this movie, I didn't make this movie just because I want to become so famous. This movie, I didn't make this movie just because I want people to celebrate me. I didn't make this movie just because I want my bank account to be okay. Don't get me wrong. I have spent a lot of money on this project and I have my family to take care of, so of course I'm expecting something in return. But the motive behind making this movie is because of the situation we Nigerians are facing. I mean, we are giants of Africa. We should live like tiger of Africa. So, I mean...
So if I watch this movie, I pay my money, I work hard for it, I pay my money, I watch this movie, what am I going to think?
First thing you're going to learn from BlackOut is what I see from this movie is a call that will awake your mind, like, okay, I think this is the source of our problem in Nigeria. I'm not trying to tarnish the image of these people. I'm only saying from my own perspective that if we can eradicate this in Nigeria, okay, let's assume there's no generator here, there's no generator there, there's no generator over there. All of us, we are not patronizing generator again. Tell me, every one of us, I'm not talking about just the civilians, I'm talking about up there also. We don't have generator. Tell me Nigeria, we're going to be sleeping in darkness. Or we are not talking about the rich now. Even the rich, we are not allowed to use generator. No generator again. Our government will definitely do something about it. So I feel the first thing you will learn from BlackOut is, okay, this is the source of our problem. And you will learn a lot of things like, when you get to the top, how can you convince yourself, how can you talk to yourself like, revenge is not good? Because the movie, I don't want to talk so much about the movie, but the movie will tell you different phases of Nigeria. First phase is, why is that we don't have lights in Nigeria? Second phase is, okay, I think this is the reason why we don't have lights in Nigeria. Another phase will tell you, oh, this is what has been going on in Nigeria. And should we revenge? Should we avenge? No. So we have a lot of lessons in this movie, and trust me, until when you get to the cinema, you won't regret spending your money on this movie. Trust me.
I really want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation with us.
You're welcome.
You're good?
Let's do that in the greeting in 2 shots. Do it again in 2 shots.
I really want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation with us.
Done.
Done. Okay.
Done.
Quickly. Let's cheat for reverse.
No. Okay, so yeah.